Let me ask you one question. Why does Alice Harford ask why they keep getting invited to Ziegler's Christmas party? Think about that. She has been going to this party for years. Her husband is a successful doctor. They move in wealthy circles. And yet she asks, almost nervously, why do they keep getting invited? That is not a casual question. That is a woman watching her husband's face to see how much he understands. He understands nothing. And that is what this film is actually about. Kubrick spent 400 days shooting this film. 400 days. The average Hollywood production takes 40 to 60. He was not making a movie about a jealous husband wandering through nightlife. He was building a trap, and the trap is designed to spring on the audience just as surely as it springs on Bill Harford. Here's what you think you're watching. A happily married couple attend a glamorous Christmas party, have a fight about jealousy, and Bill goes on a dangerous odyssey through a world he wasn't supposed to see. By the end, they decide to stay together. Credits roll. That reading is wrong, not partially wrong, completely wrong. Start from the beginning. Alice knows Victor Ziegler personally, not through Bill, not as a patient's wife, personally, through tennis. That relationship predates the film. It is the reason they get invited to that party every single year. Not because Bill is a good doctor, because of Alice. Alice is the invite. And when she asks why they keep getting invited, that line that sounds like casual conversation, she is watching Bill's face to measure the distance between what he knows and what she knows. That distance is enormous. That distance is the entire film. Alice has been going where the rainbow ends. For years, while Bill built his practice and his marriage, Alice has been living in a completely separate world, masked, anonymous, participating in a ritual that the most powerful men in New York have all submitted to. Bill knows none of this. Bill has been building a life with a woman he does not know. The Ziegler Christmas party is not a party. It is a controlled operational environment designed to achieve two specific outcomes in one evening. 1. Reintegrate Alice into the Somerton system for the upcoming ceremony. 2. Induct Bill Harford for the first time. The models who approach Bill are not making a casual pass. They are operational instruments, already working him from the moment they find him, building arousal, preparing the psychological ground, waiting for the ignition charge to land. And the ignition charge is a visual, one specific image. The entire induction was built around a single scene that was supposed to happen at that party. The planned sequence. Ziegler calls Bill upstairs, using Mandy's overdose as the mechanism. Bill leaves Alice's side first. Alice is now alone on the floor. Sandor moves in with zero hesitation, pulls her into dancing. Visible, conspicuous. Then Bill comes back downstairs and finds his wife in another man's hands. Jealousy landing on top of everything the models have already built. That is the ignition charge. At that exact moment, the models catch him at peak destabilization and offer the door, where the rainbow ends.
The rainbow trail Kubrick builds through the film. Rainbow fashion. The note. Somerton. Not beauty. A road into a world Bill doesn't know exists. Bill was supposed to walk through that door feeling like it was entirely his own decision. That feeling of agency was not incidental to the induction. It was the induction's first act. The candidate has to feel like he chose it. The ritual requires that. Don't you want to go where the rainbow ends? Not a seduction line, an operational delivery. So, what goes wrong? Nightingale is not a major figure in the Somerton architecture. He is a pianist who services these events, but it lands at the single worst possible moment in the entire operation. Nick talks to Bill at the piano early, before Ziegler has made his move, before the separation has been engineered, before any of the mechanics have deployed. And by occupying Bill at the piano at that specific moment, Nick physically disrupts the choreography of the entire party. But more critically, and this is what everything turns on, the leave sequence inverts. The plan required Bill to leave Alice first. Ziegler calls him upstairs. Alice is left alone. Sandor moves in. Bill comes back to find them together. That sequence depends entirely on Bill being pulled away first. Because Nick is occupying Bill at exactly the wrong moment, that sequence breaks. Alice ends up leaving Bill first instead. Alice with Sandor on the dance floor. The image Bill was supposed to see when he came back downstairs. He never saw it. Bill never goes upstairs. and comes back downstairs to find his wife being taken by another man. That scene, the specific image the entire induction was built to deliver, never happens. He does not see Alice with Sandor. Not a glimpse, nothing. He goes home, emotionally flat. Alice and Sandor, she knows exactly what was supposed to happen. She knows Bill missed it. She goes home and fixes it. She reads the situation the moment Bill walks through the door. He is home, emotionally flat. The party produced nothing. She was on that dance floor with Sandor. She knows what was supposed to happen. She knows Bill never came back downstairs to see it. She knows the trigger did not fire. So, she manufactures it herself. She gets Bill stoned first. This is not relaxation after a party. This is preparation. Marijuana lowers defenses, amplifies emotional impact, makes everything hit harder and linger longer. She is making the image indelible before she even creates it. And then she delivers the naval officer story. Stop thinking of that scene as a confession. Stop thinking of it as a suppressed fantasy, surfacing under the influence. That is wrong. That story is a precision instrument. Look at the detail. Real suppressed fantasies are impressionistic. They trail off. They are vague. This story has texture, specificity, emotional targeting. It hits sexual inadequacy, marital contingency, and obsessive imagery simultaneously. She is not remembering. She is building. Bill is jealous, destabilized, needing to prove something, feeling like this is entirely his own decision. Ziegler designed the operation. Alice saved it when it broke. Before we follow Bill into the night, we need to talk about something the film shows you quietly and never explains. Lou Nathanson is Bill's patient. Powerful. Dying. And by his bed, not on a wall, by his bed like a personal object, sits a mask. In the context of everything else this film has built, that mask is not decoration. That is a credential. Lou Nathanson is inside the system. Almost certainly Captain Babio, one of the senior ritual figures at Somerton. His function is the mechanism of emasculation and submission. He is dying with his membership beside him. And then there is Marion. Marion has an encounter with Bill, completely disproportionate to their clinical relationship. A confession, an almost kiss, an emotional intensity that does not fit a woman in grief. Marion grew up in proximity to her father's world, his mask, his affiliations. She knows what Ziegler is. She may know that Bill has been selected. When she looks at Bill, with pity and sorrow, because she knows something terrible about his future that he does not know, she is not looking at a man she has fallen for. She is looking at a man who does not yet know what is about to happen to him. The Mask by Lou's bed is Kubrick showing you that Somerton has always been closer to Bill than he knew. It was in his patient's bedroom. It was watching him before the Christmas party ever happened. Bill is out the door, primed. But primed is not the same as delivered. The ritual requires a specific arrival state. Lust accumulated, frustrated, urgent, unresolved. You cannot bring a satisfied man to an initiation. The accumulation is part of the preparation. So the system watches him and intervenes. Bill's night is not a free wandering through the city, it is a managed corridor. Every near release is blocked. The domino encounter. Bill goes to her apartment. They are about to have sex. He is minutes away from releasing everything Alice built up in him. Then the hospital calls. He leaves. That is not bad timing. That is intervention. The call was placed. Bill leaves still carrying everything. Still frustrated. Still moving towards Somerton, with the full psychological charge intact. Ziegler later confirms Bill was followed all night. That line is a threat. It is also an admission. The entire night was a guided corridor, not a free journey. Bill thought he was wandering. He was being steered. Now we get to the mechanical center of the entire theory. The detail that makes everything else structurally airtight. When Bill goes to Militch's shop and gets his costume, he gets a base mask, a costume item, part of Militch's regular stock. That is all he gets. What he does not get, what Militch cannot give him, is the Kukuba head. The ritual attachment that completes the mask. The complete mask at Somerton. Base mask with Kukuba head attached. This is what Bill was supposed to wear. He wore only the base. At Somerton, one of the mask figures wears this exact base mask. That is the complete version. That is what Bill was supposed to wear. The Kukuba head is not a costume component. It is a ritual marker, controlled above Milich's level, distributed only through the proper induction channel. It would have been added to Bill's mask at the point of proper delivery, by the models, en route, or at Somerton's threshold. The Kukuba head signals to everyone inside. This candidate arrived through the correct channel, was properly processed, has accepted what comes next. Correct mask. They do not recognize Bill the man. They recognize an unfinished candidate. Someone who had access to the base, but bypassed the channel that would have made him complete and therefore safe. The incomplete mask is the most dangerous thing he could have brought in, because it proves he came wrong, while proving he had access to something he had no business obtaining independently. Somerton is not a sex party for rich people. That is the comfortable reading. It is wrong. In Commedia dell'arte, there is a character called Il Capitano, the braggart soldier, the man of performed masculine authority and dominance. And Il Capitano's entire dramatic function is to be emasculated. The humiliation is built into the archetype. Babeo and Kukuba are variants of Il Capitano. Their movements at the Somerton ceremony carry explicit allusions to sodomy. They are not decorative figures. They are the mechanism of what the ceremony does. These exact figures appear at Somerton. Both are variants of Il Capitano, the archetype of performed power and ritual emasculation. Somerton is an initiation ritual built on submission. You do not enter this world by demonstrating power. You enter it by being broken, by performing the most degraded act possible in front of witnesses who are all powerful men, who have all submitted to the same thing, and who hold it over each other permanently. This is why the secrecy is lethal rather than merely embarrassing. A sex scandal destroys careers. What happens at Somerton creates mutual assured destruction. Every man in that room has submitted. Every man is therefore owned. The membership fee is not money or status. It is a permanent, recorded vulnerability that binds everyone together forever. You do not join a club. You get absorbed into a body that now contains you and can crush you at any moment it chooses. Now listen to how Ziegler speaks throughout this film. Kubrick was pathologically precise about dialogue. Not a single word is accidental. Take off your clothes, stripping of civilian identity, not seduction. She got her brains fucked out. Mandy is pure object. You saved my ass, Bill. The phrasing lands exactly where the ritual lives. These are not throwaway lines. They are the ceremony bleeding into ordinary speech. Mandy at the ceremony on the balcony. Was this Alice's position? The 12th woman who was supposed to unmask for Bill. Let me show you the version of this night that was supposed to happen. Bill sees Alice with Sandor at the party. Jealousy and arousal fire together. The models catch him at peak destabilization and offer the door. He accepts. They take him to rainbow fashion, guided, not alone, and the complete ritual mask is assembled. Base mask, Kukuba head attached, current password in hand. He arrives at Somerton as an expected candidate. The ceremony proceeds. The one who steps forward at the unmasking and redeems the stranger was meant to be Alice. Think about the ritual logic of this. Your initiator is your wife. Inside the ceremony, Alice unmasks for Bill. The couple that has been operating in parallel for years finally converges inside Somerton. The induction completes. Bill knows everything. They go home together, inside the system, permanently bound by the same mutual destruction that binds everyone else. Instead, Nick disrupts the choreography. The leave sequence inverts. The image never exists. Bill goes home flat. Alice runs the contingency. It works. But he goes to Milich alone, gets the incomplete mask, arrives wrong. Wrong channel, wrong password, wrong costume. The ceremony becomes a crisis. The 12th role falls to Mandy. And the unmasking that was supposed to happen as ritual completion inside Somerton gets displaced into the Harford bedroom. Alice confessing her dream the next morning, which is not a dream. It is her actual life, narrated in the only register available to her outside the ritual. The unmasking happened. Completely wrong room, completely wrong conditions. Bill not equipped to receive it as what it actually is. The Mandy overdose, the same cause twice. First it creates the bond, second time it closes the breach. Amanda Curran threads through everything and pays for all of it. Overdoses at Ziegler's party, Bill saves her, bond and complicity created simultaneously. Appears at Somerton as the woman who steps forward and covers the intruder. Turns up dead shortly after. Same cause, twice. She died because an intruder arrived wearing an incomplete mask and she covered him anyway. That single unsanctioned act threatened the entire mutual destruction structure. She knew the cost when she stepped forward. She did it anyway. That is the only genuinely free act in this entire film. Every other action is managed, steered, engineered, or coerced. Mandy's choice to cover a stranger, knowing exactly what it would cost, is the one moment of actual human freedom in 2.5 hours of cinema. Kubrick kills her for it, because that is what this world does to free acts. Ziegler closes Bill, not reassurance, instruction, every word a lie. Victor Ziegler is not the top of the hierarchy. He is the handler, the man who manages the membrane between Somerton and the civilian world. He recruited Alice. He has been running her for years. He ran the surveillance on Bill's entire night, not just watching, but actively managing, blocking exits, preserving the accumulated lust for Somerton's threshold. And now he delivers the managed story. It was all a charade. Nobody died. You were never in danger. That is not reassurance. That is instruction. This is the version Bill will carry. Any other version is inadmissible. Every word is a lie. Mandy is dead. Bill was followed and steered all night. The threat was completely real. Ziegler knows all of this because he managed all of it. He is not calming Bill down. He is closing him. A man who has been given a livable story and sent home is more useful than a frightened man who might talk. The operation failed. The cleanup worked. Ziegler is very good at his job. The final scene of the film. Bill and Alice in a toy store with their daughter. Christmas. Everything looks like resolution, like the nightmare is over. And Alice says, "Fuck," in front of their daughter, in a toy store. The last word of the film. What I will tell you is this. Eyes Wide Shut is not a film about a jealous husband. It is a film about a woman who has been living in a parallel world, an operation to bring her husband into it. And what happens when that operation is disrupted by a drunk pianist making a mistake at a Christmas party? Kubrick spent 400 days building this. Every frame is exact. Every word is chosen. The rainbow trail, the two-component mask, the commedia dell'arte figures, the managed night, Alice's contingency, none of it is accident. All of it is architecture. He built a trap that looks like a marriage drama, and most people walk out of it, still inside the trap, believing exactly what Ziegler told Bill to believe.